Welcome back to Speedgaming 2. We've got the second match between OK Beamer and Eykir. Race 1 went to Beamer, just had a slightly better overall routing, and then found Varia pretty early, which ended up making a pretty significant difference. Eykir went ahead and found Varia towards the end of the seed, or just not even towards the end, but just like a little bit later, and that ended up just contributing to slightly more inefficient routing. Beamer also pulled off a suitless Dragon kill, which ended up working out well in his favor. So the same race mode, so we're going to do area, randomization, major, minor. Bosses shifted, so we'll see if we can go ahead and see any difference in this. And it looks like they are off. So at the beginning, of course, we're going to see the exact same thing happen as the last game, and all of them are going to fall down here. We're going to go ahead and do a little moonfall through climb, and then we're going to go ahead and see what that first major is. That's either going to have to be morph, or that will be one of the other majors, and hopefully we find some power bombs so that we can check that area. Apologies, folks, some minor audio issues on my end. Looks like we did get a vanilla morph ball and then an E-tank in the ceiling there. And since we have power bombs, it looks like we are going over to the left side, and we're going to go ahead and see what we have here. Still no supers yet, so if this is something like Red Bryn, it's obviously great to find Red Bryn early, but Red Bryn without supers means no spacer check, and that makes the value of it significantly worse. Nice mock ball through from Beamer. And he does find Red Bryn, and is going to take this down. Eykir, on the other hand, decides that that's not going to go for him. So let's see what we find over here. There is a pretty good power bomb refill at the bottom here for Beamer, but won't be able to check those other miners. That said, if we find a green Bryn, oh wow, yeah, that's a great find early, even if this is the wrong end. That said, green Bryn also without supers is not ideal. And Eykir does pick up the supers, so as long as Beamer's able to go ahead and find another portal that's pretty good around here, or be able to pick up supers in a relatively short amount of time, this is going to work out really well. Would work out equally well for Eykir as well if we go ahead and we find, either of these portals lead back to somewhere really easy and on path and criteria. And it looks like the end of Green Bryn does lead to the front of Ship, which it looks like Beamer is gonna not check, but is going for this miner as Eykir finishes climb. Just a missile, a little unfortunate, especially as one of the slower miner checks. Wow, Eykir's going for 230. I gotta say, I don't quite know if I do the 230 at this play at this stage, especially since you do have all of the miners, so you're not locked from a progression standpoint, and it is one of the slower miner checks. But especially, I think, considering the ammo lead that Beamer had early on, it's defensible. It makes sense. So what's going to be really interesting is what's available here in Green Bryn and where this top portal leads to. If this is also somewhere super isolating, that makes the good entrance of Rex ship quite difficult or isolated to get to, and it would also make Green Bryn quite isolated. Beamer looks like he's just going to leave. Without supers, I don't blame him. Oh, he's going to go ahead and make a save in case this is a soft lock. Okay. And another E-Tank for Eykir at BT. So one thing in this randomizer is that no suits can be in criteria, but certain items that might help get suits or might help unlock other ammo or major checks can be available in criteria, such as speed booster, grapple. So we'll see what we have. So far, no supers for Beamer. And just finds an E-Tank here at Vanilla Charge location. And a reserve tank at Terminator. See, it is not being super forgiving or bountiful with movement. Yeah, and without supers, Beamer can't even check this Wavegate location either. So let's pray for a super soon. Just more PBs, and it looks like Beamer is just skipping actually picking up all of these miners to know whether he is going to be soft lock. It looks like also from Eykir's side we found out that East Meridia Elevator is what the normal G4 would go to. That is definitely not a portal you're going to be doing early. Good to know. You definitely don't want to end up going back there. And then single chamber as at the other Western criteria portal. That is... I think once you get bombs, that is in logic. Maybe even you don't even need bombs for it. Okay, speed booster for Beamer up here. That is definitely a good find. And then finally, the other big unlock is it looks like he's finally got a super missile now, which is a huge sigh of relief. And that is speed booster for Beamer. Yeah, not having all of your miners early or having it's like an extremely linear but what feels trolley path to them is not fun. And it looks like, yeah, even though it was being stingy to begin with, we've got 2 packs straight away. So there we go. Let's see what we have at this top of Green Bryn. If this is something like the pre-moat portal, which is where Eykir is going, that's going to work out technically better routing-wise, I think, for Eykir. Depending on what is in Upper Norfair and what that pathing leads to. I don't know what Eykir's doing, if he's looking for just the miner here. If he's going to do a CWJ, I think there's a few different setups for it. Yeah, he's going to moonwalk into it. This is not an easy trick. Oh, that's Main Street for Beamer. At the top. I honestly would probably save and check the West Meridia one. Same time, it maybe doesn't really matter that much, because if it's something else, like a lower Norfair or an upper Norfair, you can't logically get out of that with what you have. Oh, Beamer also hasn't done some of these other item checks as well. Yeah, that would make sense. And it looks like it's bottom of Red Bryn for pre-moat. Did we see where moat went, or did Eykir give up on that? I was looking at Beamer's screen while that happened. Okay, and we've found Kraid at the same location. Okay, that's a little interesting. So 2 out of 4 bosses, same as last time, are beatable here. Being Phantoon or Dragon. I'm gonna go ahead and take the save just in case. Last seed, this was Dragon and was extremely annoying. Beamer was able to pull out CF Interrupt to go ahead and get out of Dragon's room. But we'll see what we have in store for this one. This is pretty on path for what both runners are going to get, so nothing too big here. And the boss is... That's a Phantoon. Okay, this is beatable. This isn't super free, but you have pretty decent health. You have enough missiles to go through with this. Just have to be a little bit mindful. Meanwhile, Beamer finds high jump boots at the Wavegate location. So that also means whatever we do find in the Red Bryn tube portal, that's now in logic with those items, with the high jump boots. Okay, going ahead and doing just a couple of missiles of damage there. For Eykir, let's see how the rest of this Phantoon fight goes. Okay, nice little Doppler in there. Okay, Beamer is going for the waterway check. This is speed locked, so it's great having found speed within Green Bryn and not something that's on the back of your mind that you need to come back to later. Looks like Eykir's almost done here with Phantoon at Kraid's lair. And Beamer finds the Wave Beam. Okay, nothing game-breaking, but definitely a nice item to be having, especially just for its utility of shooting through walls versus like the damage upgrade. And I think Eykir, yeah, Eykir's now finished that off. Nicely done. And we'll have to see what that boss reward is. We got some Spazer hate in chat. I think honestly you still pick up Spazer at this stage. It's way better than the pea shooter, and it still kills a lot of enemies, especially in some of the earlier areas, in one hit, so it's worth it. Alright, Beamer's skipping the miners already. Is going to go ahead and farm up in this hallway a little bit. I definitely like doing this. What do we have as a reward? Okay, just an E-tank. Nothing too bad. We don't have any other movement, so getting ready, just a little bit more comfort in case of a hell run, and plus you need 3 tanks to get through Mother Brain 3 anyways. Okay, let's see what we have at Red Tower. Back of Lower Norfair. Okay. Looks like Eykir's not going to check the tube. Again, if you don't have high jump boots, that isn't in logic, and if you miss the jump, there are definitely some tricks you can do to get back up there. Ooh, does Eykir know how to get out of this jump? Yeah, there you go. Okay, got it. Beamer going for an early X-ray, it looks like. Or just maybe wants the power bombs? Because this is not how you set up for a... Oh, with high jump and speed, this is in logic again. Wow, charge at Spazer, though, for Eykir. Oh! There's the death from Beamer. Yeah, so those spikes do end up doing a ton of damage. So even though this is in logic, and you do have the save, really being able to do the D-boosts there and not taking spike damage, but taking spike damage from the waivers is a huge advantage to being able to get through that room really well. Aside from the just damage, you get way more iframes from the waivers than you do with the spikes. So not only are you taking less damage, but you get more frames to go ahead and move and pick up some momentum before you take damage again. Alright, makes it up. Nice. So if this is something he doesn't want, like, let's go ahead and say it's a reserve tank. You don't get it. It's E. Yeah. I mean, it takes a while to get back. You're going to deplete a bunch of your energy getting back as well. It's probably not worth it. You, in Major Minor, half the item pool for Majors is E-tanks anyway, so you're more than likely to pick up another one at some point. So I think this is definitely a fair thing to do. Looks like Beamer is going through. He's already seen this, hasn't he? This is Back of Lower Norfair. You don't... If you were going to do Back of Lower Norfair at this stage, you definitely want that E-tank. But I think he must have just maybe had some seed bleed or just a quick moment of forgetfulness. You definitely are not ready for Lower Norfair at this stage. He's going to go ahead and pick up his charge beam here at Spacer, which will be good. Meanwhile, Eykir is picking up those miners and is going to end up finding Green Bryn. And then we'll also end up seeing where Meme Route leads to, since he will get that from the top. So some big variance I could see in this race is Eykir going to go ahead and check Wreck Ship at this stage? He knows that there's only one boss that's beatable at the moment. So might go ahead and elect to check that once you come out. Oh, and Beamer's going to go ahead and give us Meridia Tube, which is back of Wreck Ship. Again, with high jump, that's in logic. So we'll see. Beamer with Speed Booster also has a much easier way to go ahead and handle Mo. I think he's going to go ahead and check the rest of these items, or this other portal, which will end up being the crate location with Fantoon. Meanwhile, Eykir's setting up for Wave, but actually doesn't have Wave to do this yet. We'll have to get that after he picks up the Speed Booster. Yeah, it looked good. Nicely done. And is going to get his high jump boots. Yeah, I also don't anticipate Beamer having any issues with this fight. If he can get this to a couple of rounds, that could be a nice time save. But I think what it's going to come down to as well is one of the big divergence points here is what's going to be at the crab hole location that Beamer decided he didn't want to check when he found Main Street, and then what's going to be at the moat location as well. Fantoon's eye closes can be so annoying sometimes. So the only Upper Norfair portal we've seen so far is single chamber, and when the runners saw it, they didn't really have a bunch of health to make that necessarily a preferred option. But it is available. Oh, and then that's an enraged Fantoon for Beamer. Luckily knows this little strat with charge to do the pseudo screw, which makes it ultra safe. Unfortunately, it's definitely a pretty significant time loss, unfortunately, but at least won't be punished and put into a dangerous situation as a result of that. Eykir is skipping the missiles. I mean, even at 30, it's not... I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah, you do have charge at this stage, but... You're hoping you find other beams in order to be able to do more than a missile's worth of damage. You're already there. I would probably pick it up. Okay, and then that is Fantoon down for Beamer. Eykir did fall down, finding the power bomb. Not sure if that was intentional or not. That jump can be pretty annoying. But I would imagine that's not intentional if you already went through the door transition and skipped a missile pack. I don't think there's any particular reason to be looking for power bombs or supers over missiles at this stage, other than you would take any miner you could get. I missed the mock ball here. There's a way you can do that in room, but it is definitely fairly tight. Gonna go back. Not quite. Yeah, this could be a little bit trickier with high jump boots. But third time's the charm. Looks good. Yeah, didn't bonk it on the way. Nice. Alright. And this is going to be speed for Eykir. I think that is definitely in Green Bryn. Knowing you're probably not going to go through this other portal, a good item to get. Meanwhile, Beamer ending back up, and I think, yeah, now that we have Speed Booster, we can just go ahead and Shine Spark across the moat. This is going to be an easy one. So I would imagine this is going to be some sort of Upper Norfair portal. Oof. It's adjacent distant cousin Croc. Beamer's going for it. With charge, this isn't logic. Croc definitely is a time sink, though. I mean, you definitely have the movement to go ahead and get both of the items without having to do the gate glitch. This is just slow. If Eykir wants to make up a bunch of time, this is really the place to do it. If I was Eykir, I would be falling down, trying to find this portal. It's more than... Wow, well, that's a bailout. Wow, okay, well, that is Varia at Croc for Beamer. Cool. Cool. Eykir is heading back down as well. I wonder if we're going to see second item Croc from Beamer, and it looks like we are. Yeah, Eykir is going back down Green Bryn, choosing not to go ahead and see what's at that crab hole portal. I'm just confirming, yeah, we haven't seen that. And we do know it's like, that could be Lower Norfair, or that could be Torian, or potentially even in East Meridia. Oh, the decor is no. Oh. Yeah, this is a feels bad moment, but... Okay, at least we made it out clean. There we go. Well, let's see if we have a double suit Croc here. Okay, just me. Are we going to see best mock ball in the game? No. Slight head dunk. That's okay. Meanwhile, Eykir is about to pick up that wave beam. Okay. Well, Croc holds the goods in this seed, and it is accessible. I think, yeah, if Eykir would have done that early, that would have been pretty major. And look, Beamer already setting up for the charge back. Pretty... Uh-oh. That's fun. That was a pretty heads-up play, though. I probably wouldn't have done that. Or I wouldn't have thought to do that, rather. Beamer coming through now. Probably going to take a save at the ship. And yeah, just going ahead and looking back at the tracker here for what we have on the areas. This will take Beamer, if he goes to Lower Mushrooms, This will take him straight to Upper Norfair, and with Varia, speed, and high jump, I think this is a pretty good place. Beamer hasn't seen Bomb Teresa, though, and is going down. I think if Beamer is really hoping this is ice, or something else that will end up speeding it up. Yeah, I gotta say, that speedball going into BT is pretty sick. I haven't seen that before. Unfortunately, it just gets paid out with an E-Tank, which isn't really what you're looking for the most part. Eykir just like 1 frame short on that power bomb to get out of wreck shift. This is going to be a pretty interesting moment for Eykir as well, because we definitely want to see what boss this is. We know that it can't be found tuned, so it's 1 out of 3 bosses is killable. If this is Kraid and this holds gravity, this could be very big. But if this is Ridley or Dragon, this is not great. I think especially considering like the health. I mean, what is this? It's like 5+1. That would... Someone in chat who's smarter at varioless Ridley fights could tell me if that's even possible. But I know that even if it is possible, that's got to be pretty tight. So we would need to have full health, and we would need to have full ammo for this to be remotely doable, I think. That super pickup is really good. Yeah, I know the low health does help with the Dragon escape if you're planning on doing the Crystal Flash clip, but I don't think Eykir is too well versed or has done that trick. I don't think it's in his wheelhouse. We did see last game he had like a very similar loadout going into Dragon and then just did like an immediate reset. Meanwhile, Beamer has made his way through single chamber and gives us more E, which he's declining, and that is Ridley. Oh, that is max punish. I mean, that's not max punish, but that's 95% threshold punish, I would say, for Eykir on that. If that ended up being Kraid and had like a pretty great item to get through the rest of the seed, a required item that would definitely, maybe not required, but an optimal item to get him through, that would have been really beneficial. As it stands, it looks like going through, grabbing Varia from Croc is definitely the way. There's Screw Attack. Definitely another good item for Beamer. Makes Lower Norfair significantly easier at this point through the Key Hunters, but it's definitely not what you want. Varia was the first Croc location. The second, like the grapple location, held an E-Tank. Okay, Beamer giving some nice wall jumps up, and we're gonna see what's up here. And where's Eykir deciding to go from here? It looks like he's gonna check this portal. I don't know if... I know Eykir has seen this. He knows that this is meme route. Yeah, just a reserve tank for Beamer. It's not really what you want to find, although we still have Business Center to go through, and that should be pretty trivial to get to considering we have high jump. Okay, it looks like Beamer's going to go ahead and check the Chronic Boost door first. And we have Crab Shaft. I mean, with high jump, that is in logic, but There's not really anything you're really going to want to find through there. We do know where Main Street leads to, and then you do have Crab Hole, which we don't really have a good way of getting out of. Meanwhile, Upper Norfair and Business Center has 2 other portals along with those item checks. And we have, yeah, we have the 2 majors. This is much better play. Looks like Eykir's going to go ahead and fill up on the ship. I imagine at this stage he's going straight to Croc now. We've not checked Mama Turtle. Wow, everything coming straight to West Meridia at this point. They don't have... I think you can high jump and speed get out. Okay, Eykir is going through and he's going to go ahead and check the Gauntlet location at this stage. Considering that this can't be a suit, I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this play, especially since you already have speed. But it could be something like Grapple, which would be really useful. Or Ice. Those would be probably like some of the better items, at least movement-wise, to be getting. Plasma would also be heavily beneficial at this stage. Just an E-Tank. And I think you do go out the back. Yeah, actually, you need to go out the front because you don't know what mode is. And that's really what you're looking for here. You know what's over there on the other side. And there is Ice Beam for Beamer. Yeah, you want that. And there it is. Ice Beam at Mama Turtle. So depending on the rest of the items we find, and if gravity ends up being a little bit trolly, that could be a pretty significant payout. I hope Beamer does check what's at Mama Turtle over here. I think Beamer's going for the strat here where, didn't even have to shoot the pirate. If you do shoot the pirate, even if they don't do damage, they end up doing a blocking move, which prevents them from shooting you. Definitely beneficial if they get their sights on you. We're gonna, I assume, take the save and make the drop down now. Yeah. And Eykir is about to find Croc, and I imagine at this stage you just do Croc. Yeah. Eykir agrees. Let's see what we have for Crapple. This is most likely going to be, yeah, Business Center. In front of Business Center leads to Baccalaureate Norfair or Turian? Oh, Aqueduct. Okay. So out of the locations Gravity could still be at, we do have behind Batoon, somewhere in Lower Norfair. I think that might be it. Or obviously in Business Center. So if you can grab this in Business Center, that would be pretty ideal. Meanwhile, Turian is front of LN. That would be super fun. Love seeds like that, especially if that's a Variolus seed. And it looks like Eykir's decided he's going to do the back of Croc as well. Or Gravity could just show up right there in the most pristine place possible. So I imagine Beamer... I don't even know if you check high jump at this point. You have everything you need. It's not the best damage output-wise, but I mean, you're pretty good. That's going to be really difficult to come back from as well. Let's see what happens. Yeah, you just forego high jump and you just finish out this seed. I think that's the way to do it. Well, this is definitely different to the last seed, where it was definitely a bit more of a lengthier trolley way to get there. So I think Beamer might be doing this to farm up power bombs. Or is he going to go back? Because you saw the front of East Meridia. Although I guess in his mind, because... No, we've seen the back of East Meridia. We know exactly where that goes. Oh, he's going to go do wreck ship at this point. And just go in and out of wreck ship, and then... Yeah, front of Lower Norfair is Turian. Sorry, I haven't been... There's so much going on to keep track of all of that. Beamer doesn't know that, though, I don't think, so... Yeah. Well, let's see where Eykir decides to go from here. If he goes ahead and makes the wreck ship play and then just decides not to do wreck ship. Although I don't really see that happening. And Beamer is going ahead and farming up for supers in this little hallway here. Definitely getting ready for Ridley. I do think we are seeing some audio delay issues here. Not sure if I can... what I can do about that. Yeah, it looks like Eykir is going to make his way over to Upper Norfair, and then from there, hopefully... Or maybe not. He's going to go back through the meme route, and then that takes you to Red Tower. Okay. Here is Ridley for Beamer. So, it doesn't have the potential for soft block because of the charge beam, but you definitely want to use your supers as effectively as possible here, since they do double damage to Ridley, and Ridley can be quite annoying. Alright, and that is Ridley down for Beamer. Nicely done. Okay, Plasma. That's pretty much the best reward you could have gotten at this stage. You can see that damage jumping pretty dramatically. Ammo is irrelevant at this stage. And I think, did Beamer just turn back on Ice Beam once you have Plasma? I mean, shooting everything twice is just not really that much of an issue. We're gonna switch to Beamer's audio and see if maybe there's no delay there. Although that definitely seems delayed. Okay, so from where they stand right now, Eykir is definitely gonna make a better route of this, not having to like dip back to go into wreck ship after getting gravity, but Beamer is already quite positionally ahead, having already done the wreck ship boss. I don't really see this being much of an issue. Also, Eykir would have to go straight, find that gravity suit, and then make it through. I think this is just too much at the moment. Well, Eykir has entered into the Ridley fight. And that is all 30 supers hit, I believe. We just need to wait for Ridley to come down and get that pogo. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up his plasma beam as the reward as well. Okay, just an E-tank behind Botwoon there, nothing too special. I mean, at this point, other than Space Jump, we have all the niceties. Looked like Beamer was setting up for a full halfie there. Didn't quite get it, but I mean, considering all the movement items available, this isn't going to be give him any troubles. Okay, and bombs at the boss reward in Wreck Ship. Yeah, so if Eykir goes ahead and checks out the rest of this Wreck Ship, that's definitely going to be a pretty significant time loss, since we know the answer is a business center at ICE. Oh, no crate DLC this time. Nicely done. And not even gonna check the reward. I mean, to be honest, there's nothing you need at this stage, so it's go time. I'm just gonna have a look to what the actual path back is for Beamer. So it looks like Beamer needs to get to Red Tower. Probably the quickest way to do that. Yeah, there's not really a lot of good ways to do it. He can go through criteria either through the side hoppers or through that pre-aqueduct room. I think Beamer's going to go ahead and check his map to figure out what the best way to do this is. And yeah, so this is the second game between both of these runners. We're in the group stage of SGLIVE Super Metroid Randomizer Dash Tournament. This isn't a best of 3. This is just 2 independent games played by each runner against their matchups. We're going to use that to go ahead and then form the next stage of what happens. And there is the grappling beam at Wreck Ship Reserve. This is, as Quick 10 Draws pointing out in chat, this is technically Go mode. It definitely involves some gravityless shenanigans, which I'm sure Eykir is capable of doing, but it is, compared to having gravity, it is just a lot slower, and gravity is on the way. So I don't really see much of a way back. And considering that we have charged plasma as well, this is going to be looking pretty good for Beamer, who's entering into the back of Lower Norfair now for his final boss, and then heading straight to Turian, which is just a reverse acid dive away. Hopefully we'll be able to have the runners in for an interview. I think it'd be really good to understand about the paths they chose, how they're feeling about their progress and stuff like that. So we'll see. I know it's a little bit later in the day for Beamer, and I don't quite remember where Eykir is time zone wise. Okay, well, there is Space Jump. Definitely a nice, luxurious movement item to be having, but unfortunately that's not really the answer looking for. It definitely makes... It does make doing suitless, especially... I forget whatever the room right before Dragon is, that's not Precious. It makes that one a lot easier to deal with. But yeah, it's definitely not going to end up being the answer. Yeah, so to reiterate what the settings are for this randomizer and for this tournament, it's area randomization. That's not map rando, it's just certain areas or certain doors and certain areas are randomized. It's major minor item split, and then it is bosses shifted. So bosses shifted is a little bit different to how other boss randomizers have worked in the past. In bosses shuffled, when you kill Dragon, if you kill Phantoon wherever Phantoon is, that's what opens up the wreck ship. In bosses shifted, if you kill whichever boss is at the wreck ship location, that's what opens up the wreck ship. So if Dragon is at the wreck ship, killing Dragon opens up wreck ship. If it's Kraid, that opens up wreck ship. Just a slightly different variation. And I think in chat they were going through what the actual room name is. I'm pretty sure it is Coliseum. Cathedral is as Quick Draw is pointing out, that's the room between Business Center and Bubble Mountain. And there is Double Jump, a beautiful, beautiful item that is absolutely no use to us at this stage. But Beamer decides that he lives a life of luxury and wants to pick that up anyways. It will definitely make a few jumps faster. I also forgot he doesn't have Space Jump. To be clear, no hate on Double Jump. I love Double Jump. I'm always super happy when I get it, unless I have Space Jump. But I think at this stage, the only items that would really help Beamer... I mean, Space Jump would be good, but it's not that big of a time save at this point. Most likely just looking for an energy tank refill to go ahead and do the reverse acid dive, but I imagine we just see Beamer damage down and Crystal Flash, since he's going to get a full energy and ammo refill anyways before entering into G4, since that is how the area rando works. Nice speedball, by the way, through Wasteland. That's such a cool trick once you get that down. Yeah, as predicted, Beamer's going to go ahead and damage down slightly, get to CF range, go ahead and fire that off, and then make his way through the reverse acid dive. For those that don't know how Crystal Flashes work in this game, you need to be below 50 health with your reserve drained, and then you lay a power bomb while crouched, and you have to remain in the same position for that. And once you do that, that will, if you keep holding left, right, down, and the shoot button, that will refill all of your energy in exchange for 10 missiles, 10 super missiles, and 10 power bombs. Neat little trick. It's definitely, if you're playing the game casually, a little bit more esoteric, but in these randomizers and speedruns, a pretty significant time save and utility to go ahead and be able to skip a lot of farming and make better use of your time. And Beamer is through the reverse acid dive, gonna just make his way out this final room post elevator, and will run right into Turian. I imagine at this stage, at 52 minutes and not having found gravity yet, Eykir's feeling pretty annoyed, even though he is about to pick up gravity very shortly, also right next to the good entrance of East Meridia, which he'll be able to get through that fairly quickly. Yeah. Meanwhile, Beamer is making his way through that first Turian room, and he is with the first Metroid room and just going without a care in the world with Ice Beam and Charge Beam and just being able to super all of these. It's pretty free, just feels good. And I imagine Beamer's feeling really confident at this point. Beamer using some nice grouping strats on that final Metroid room, and let's see if he attempts a baby skip. We do have high jump and speed booster and wave to go ahead and get rid of all those blocks. I don't know how familiar Beamer is with baby skip, but pretty much all the people in the similar seating to Beamer are able to do it, and it looks like he's not going for it. He's baby skipping, which that's also a strat. I mean, to be clear, I mean, no shade thrown, that's exactly what I do every single time. Yeah, it's definitely something I've been pretty interested in learning, and I would imagine Beamer would as well. Unless someone in chat can tell me there's a good reason to not baby skip during this. I do think it is one of the tricks, though. It's, you know, when you hear it saves like 30, 45 seconds, you know, focusing on the routing and other things as you're going through practice can save minutes and understanding the logic as opposed to seconds. But feel like Beamer's routing is so good, and he knows this game so well and the logic of it that yeah, doing something like baby skip would be great for him. And we're gonna go ahead and see the ice freeze, and we're gonna do the classic Zeb skip. There's a way without screw attack, or with screw attack on, that you can down back through this. I am like Beamer in the boomer category, I guess, called boomer skip. I'm definitely, I do not know the down back way to do that. And to be honest, I don't care. It's something I should learn at some point, but it's fine. And there we are, through Mother Brain 1. Gonna hit Mother Brain 2 at a pretty good time. We're gonna be just over an hour, I think. Meanwhile, Eykir is gonna pick up his gravity suit. There you go. Yeah, you want that. To be clear, I'm only putting Beamer in the boomer space because I'm very sure I'm in the boomer space as well. And I'm pretty sure we're the same age. And I think we have very similar philosophies on the game and what we choose to focus our time on. Yeah, and that is down, damaging down. Alright, that is going to be Mother Brain 2. Nicely done from Beamer. Just a short cinematic cutscene away and a dramatic escape, and we'll be finished with this race. So let's see if Beamer can go ahead and sub-hour this. Looks pretty likely given the loadout and where we're at right now. Eykir's going ahead and taking a save. I'm not really sure why you do the save at this point, because you do have pretty much everything you need. And you're not really going to go checking a sandpit. You most likely know which of the two bosses it is, and there shouldn't really be any concern with taking either of those out. But we'll see. A charged plasma Batoon always feels good, though. Alright, and with that, Mother Brain 3's head on the ground, we're going. Let's see if Eykir can go ahead and get the Kraid quick kill here as well. Oh, nicely done. Putting that one on the map. It looks like Eykir's going to go ahead and check as well what we got. And X-Ray. Yeah, with one boss left, that's definitely not worth it. Final moonfall of the game. We're going to climb up Spark, make our way through Parlor, and then we will get them in for interviews, hopefully. Oh, I hate falling down in Parlor like that. I do it all the time, especially when you're on the escape and those nerves are pumping. And with that, get your GGs in chat for Beamer, who takes the set 2-0. Let's see if we can grab them in for an interview. Beamer, welcome.
Hey, Kubo. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. And we have Eykir as well. GGs to both of you.
Thanks, man.
GG's, Beamer.
Hey, GG's. Eykir. Yeah, first one was a bit closer, it looks like.
Yeah, first one was way closer.
I think in the second seed, Beamer, it was once you found Varia, which you did find like significantly earlier, you just had one trip through Upper Norfair, found exactly what you needed, and then just had to take a quick detour just to go back. Eykir ended up finding Varia like a little bit later at Croc.
That's an obstacle, not finding that early, definitely.
It turns out finding suits
early
is good, yeah.
Kind of beneficial.
Ran to really once, had to reset, so yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely, that wreck ship play, Eykir, that you made in the second seed, that could have really been beneficial if that would have been a boss that you could have done and then find, some sort of progression, because it was super early in that. Or also having done like Moat really early, although there wasn't really a good movement item to get across it, it would have had to have been the CWJ, which I think you attempted a couple of times, but I always know for me in races, CWJs don't always tend to agree with my nerves. But when Beamer got there first, he had the speed booster from having already gone around, so was able to make it through that way.
I think I wasn't actually trying the CWJ. I was trying to get the super missile on the thing. I had difficulty with that in the first game. I think I might have actually hit the CWJ the second time I jumped, but I pulled back because I just wanted the item and realized afterwards, that might have actually worked.
Yeah, it's, I forget what the exact ammo situation was at the time. I think it was definitely enough to have done it. And since Varia was like the first item, I'd imagine you just go ahead and get the first item, and unless it's like a double suit Croc, like you realize like I'm at a huge advantage. But yeah, that would have definitely swung things pretty interestingly. Anything else you guys want to mention on the second? Yeah.
I was happy about my Dragon fight in the first seed. I think that probably was the first time I did this escape in a live match, and there are so many things that can go wrong. Like you lose the spark, you're not in the right energy window to pull the crystal flash, like a million things. And so I was really happy that worked out. Thanks. In the second one, routing the bosses when I was in go mode seemed horrible.
It did.
I don't know. I'm not sure if this was the quickest I did. I'm pretty sure there could have been better routes to get to them. But anyway, I got them. Just knowing that Turian was in the end of Lower North at the left side, that was good to know before going down there.
I was just happy I took out Fantoon at Crave Slayer early. I'm like, cool, I did this on 2 E-tanks.
Nice. I had 3 when I did that.
Didn't have to come back. It was nice. I might have had reserve too.
I also enraged Fantoon because I ran out of missiles, and it was kinda on purpose, but I still was surprised by it. I said to myself, it's cool, I got charge, so if I don't get any missiles, I just super him. And then I still was surprised when I did it. It's stupid.
It was definitely good. I think I can't remember. I think you both had charge at that point, so you could pseudo screw, if you actually had the actual screw. So even like the low tank part of it, the screw provides or the charge and pseudo screw provides such an extra sense of security.
For sure, yeah.
But there's always remembering to use it at the time, which whenever you watch it back, you're like, why did I not do this? But no, you both made it through that fight really good, and that was really great, especially in light of Seed 1, where I think progression was quite, we'll say obtuse in the beginning. It was quite a search for where it could have been, and then finally finding Kraid, and it's like, this has got to be, it's like a good boss. And it's like, oh, it's Dragon. Definitely not fun. Although, yeah, Beamer, you definitely you did go for it, and
Yeah,
it worked out. But yeah,
it
that
did.
was
And I
yeah,
hope
that was
that would be an advantage, but Crate wasn't too far out of the way to come back to that, so just a small
yeah,
advantage to have that done.
yeah, exactly. And the X-ray play was from both of you. You both did that pretty well as well. And in the first seed, that really mattered.
Oh yeah,
Yep, it's really late for me at least.
Yeah,
but
but I mean, you didn't have grapple or space jump, right? So you had to know to be able to go through it with like a certain amount of strats, right? I think a lot of people do tend to wait till they get like one of those more convenient items, but it is in logic without those.
I definitely
Yeah.
do, and I hate that it's in logic.
I got the double jump out of Upper Norfair, and
Yeah, me
then that
too.
was like the last place to go. It's like, okay, well, this will make this easier.
The important thing when you have double jump is to not kill too many of the fire fleas because you actually want to see where you do your first wall jump. That's one of the things I learned.
But you also need the fire fleece to deboost off of so you can do that room fast.
That too, but I would have to learn that. So nah, learning stuff, nah.
Yeah, learning stuff is lame. No, that was a really fun match to watch. GG's to both of you. And is there anything else you want to mention about the seeds?
I just out of Beamer lap when we got the charge super early in Seed 2 after not getting it in Seed 1.
Yeah, that was a feel good moment for sure.
No ammo problems today.
Yep, that felt really good. I'm done with my missiles. 30 is fine. I don't need 115.
Yep, exactly.
That was a pretty interesting hunt, yeah, in Seed 1 for that.
Yep, that was GG Beamer. Good luck in your
Thanks, man.
last races.
You still got one more, right?
Nope, this is my last one. I'm done.
Oh, mine too. Okay, in the group stage at least. I guess I should be through after you taking a seat off Anthony yesterday. I think even if you hadn't done that, I would have gone through anyway. Even if Anthony, well, that would have been interesting if Anthony takes 2 seats off D-Web, but that's not gonna happen because you took one. So GG's on that.
Thank you. He had technical issues though, so that one's still up in the air.
Oh, is it?
But yeah, I'm talking to admins about it.
Okay.
But we'll figure something out. But he's not very confident against D-Web, so yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll be advancing anyways.
All right.
We will, we'll discuss. D-Web and I are discussing what to do about that, and we'll reach out to both of you about that.
I mean, it really does only get interesting if Anthony wins both matches against D-Web, so you could just wait.
Yeah,
for that match.
Right. That's next week. I think next weekend they're playing.
Have they scheduled that already? I don't know. I'm gonna look that up later.
But yeah, I think this might be one of the first group stages to get done. So thanks to everyone for scheduling their matches, and thanks to both of you for putting on a great 2 races today.
Yep. Thanks for coming and tracking, and getting us on restream. Appreciate it, Kupo.
No worries. Thank you. All right. Well, that'll do it for us. Thanks for tuning in to Speed Gaming 2. There's several other matches today for the Dash Randomizer tournament. We have... I'm going to try to convert these live to Eastern time, but Ace and Break Jake are currently playing right now. Sloters versus Incompetent Perfectionist is also today at 2 p.m. Back to back. At 5 p.m. we have Nitro versus Dareshoe also back to back. And then MM2 versus Sunflower is also today. If anyone would like to sign up for comm or tracking, you can have a look at the schedule and see what works with your time, and we would love to have you. Otherwise, thanks so much to everyone, and we will see you next mission.